What's going on, Socialites? Welcome back to another episode GPS Tracking, your podcast for everything you need to know about the global Pokemon Society and all things Pokemon news in general. Episode 58, end of the regular season. We're going to go into the Week 8 recap, and we're going to have the All-Star game today. So we'll go over the teams and then jump right into the battle. So stay tuned for that. Without further ado, let's take a look at the current standings following Week 8. These are the final regular season standings. Let's see who made the playoffs and who's going to be playing off against who. Alright, Socialites, so here we see the final regular season standings. 8 grueling weeks. And we finally ended up with only one undefeated team. That's the big story here. So we've had one undefeated team each of the past 3 seasons now, with your Boston Braviaries doing it twice, seasons 3 and 4. And now the Oklahoma City Thunderous, they get it in their first season with us, season 5, 8-0. PSG loses against the Lavender Town Gengars, so they end up 7-1, still very solid, number 2 seed, taking the Eastern Division. Your Boston Braviaries in the standings were number 3, but we didn't win our division, so we are only going to be the number 5 seed. Denver, big matchup. Denver and Tokyo in the last week. The winner was going to take the West. Denver wins that. They take the West Division, giving them the number 3 seed, which means that Tokyo is going to get the number 6 seed. Then we got Lavender Town, who's going to be the number 7 seed. And then we got all these 4-4 teams, 3 of which were from the North Division. So the winner of the North Division ends up being the Black City Zekrom, which they beat all 3 of their division opponents. That's how you win a division. You beat all your opponents. So they went 1-4 outside of their division, but they went 3-0. That gave them a better differential record. So they actually got the number 4 seed. Then you got Pittsburgh at the number 8 seed, Vero Beach at the number 9 seed, and Charm City Charizards at number 10. Which means that these teams all got left out of the playoff. The Driftvale City Dragapults, Cole, got left out. The Worcester Delibirds got left out. And El Paso. Actually, we gotta change this around. Look at this. Look at how sloppy I am. Sloppy. Waco, being in next to last place all season, they actually end up moving up into the 13th spot. So they actually got a little bit of a boost there. El Paso, the Mighty Psyducks, all 3 of those are 2-6. And then Womp Womp Womp, the LA Kinglers went winless. So they will be sent down to the minors next season. And depending on who makes it to the semifinals and the finals of the minor league playoffs, Waco, El Paso, and Mighty Psyducks could all be in danger of getting challenged by those teams. So we'll have to see how that all goes. So in the first week of the playoffs, the top 6 teams all get a bye week. You can see here anyone who has an X or a Y next to their team got a bye week. So you got Lavender Town is going to take on Charm City. That's the 7 versus the 10 seed. And then Pittsburgh and Vero, that's the 8 versus the 9 seed. So those will be the teams playing this week. And based on that, we'll see who plays in the playoffs. It's almost like the NBA. You get a playoff game, except we've been doing it longer than the NBA has. So NBA stealing our shit. So let's actually, I don't usually cover the minors too much, but let's take a look at them real quick. Alright, Socialites, here we take a look at the minor league teams. Again, I'm being sloppy. Look at this. Memphis had to forfeit their last 2 games. So they drop out of... They had a chance to, go undefeated, get that number 1 seed. But they actually dropped down to the number 3 seed. So the way we're going to do it is the Slow Kings and Slateport are going to get a bye week. Memphis will play Diamond Desert. Daytona will play the Bidoofs. And then from there, we'll know who Slow Kings and the Slateport Socialites play the next week. So these two already have a chance to make the majors just because they're going to get to the top 4 anyway. So these other 4 teams, they want to win to make it to the major leagues. So good luck to them. Next week's podcast, we'll figure out who's playing who in the next round of the playoffs. But without further ado, let's take a look at the all-star teams that you guys helped vote on and select. Alright, Socialites, so we're going to take a look at the red and the blue team, starting with the latter, the blue team. And we're going to show off all 6 of them and then get right into the match. My commentary, never before seen, that sort of fun stuff. So, the captain of the blue team. Now, you may have realized, if you were astute, that you were only voting on 10 Pokemon when you did the voting. So, where were the other 2? Where was Oklahoma Thunderous and Paris Saint-Germain, the 2 best teams of the season? Where were their Pokemon to vote on? Well, I let Trevor and Andrew decide on their own All-Stars, and those 2 All-Stars would be the captains of their respective team. So PSG, Andrew picked Weavile. We know how clutch Weavile has been for them. Suicide winning twice this season. Pretty crazy. So Weavile is the captain of blue team. And Ice, Dark, Physical. I tried really hard to make these team balanced so you can, hate me for who's on what team and all that. But I did my best, dang it. I let you guys pick the Pokemon and I got to figure out how to kind of balance them. So, and some of the Pokemon I was like, okay, this has been a physical set all season, but I need more special attackers. I tried to have 3 physical, 3 special on each team. Tried to balance out because there were a lot of type coverage on both teams, so I tried to balance that out. Tried to balance out the speed tiers a little bit. Okay, obviously there's going to be one Pokemon that's always going to be faster than everything, so let me make sure the next faster is on the other team, etc., etc. Alright, with that said, Weavile, your blue team captain. Next up on the blue team, we got one of our X tiers. It's Kyurem White, representing the Charm City Charizards. So, in this one too, I actually gave the X tier some items. We'll talk about them when we're doing the game recap maybe. But I tried to not make them big impact items. They weren't like, Choice Specs or Life Orb. Like, nothing that would, Choice Scarf. Nothing that would, make them hit a lot harder or do crazy things. But just, little things that I thought would help make the All-Star game a little more interesting. So, Charm City, you guys voted for the Kyurem White represent on the blue team. Our next X tier on the blue team is Mewtwo, representing the Worcester Delibirds. Worcester didn't make the playoffs, but they were good enough to not be in trouble of being dropped down to the minors for next season. So congrats to Worcester. 3-5 coming back. Not a bad record, and they'll get to do it again in Season 6. So Mewtwo, a very versatile, strong Pokemon, making it to the All-Star game. Do you think Mewtwo's going to cause some trouble against the red team? Up next, representing the Tokyo Togekiss in the All-Star game is Excadrill. Now, Excadrill is really unique in the All-Star game. It's the only Pokemon capable of setting up a hazard. So, I'm talking anything. Rocks, of course, is what Excadrill gets, but no one else can do spikes. No one else can do toxic spikes. Sticky web. There's nothing there. So it's the only Pokemon that can do a sort of hazard. So it's going to be really important on the blue team, I think, to get that up. Now, I did give a certain Pokemon on the red team a way to remove hazards, and we'll talk about that when we get to the red team. But congrats to Excadrill making it to the All-Star game representing Tokyo. Next, representing the North Division champions, the Black City Zekrom, is Zeraora. They picked up Zeraora later in the season. I think it was week 3, maybe week 4, and it's a fast Blitzin electric type. You guys voted for it over Darmanitan, who was more of Black City's mainstay Pokemon. So Zeraora, I tried to be like, okay, could I get Excadrill onto the other team so that there was some play against Zeraora to switch in? But there are a lot of dragons going on, and so I was like, okay, there's stuff that can resist on the red team, and the balance just didn't work out for what I really wanted to do with that respect. Now, typically Black City likes to use a physical Zeraora, you know, Plasma Fist, close combat, you know, that fun stuff. We made this one a special one, so it's going to have stuff like Thunderbolt, Volt Switch, Aura Sphere, and it actually has a little bit of taunt, so maybe it can disrupt some of the more setup moves and everything, because the red team has a little bit more setup moves than the blue team. So Zeraora could be key. It's the second fastest Pokemon in this. We'll go over who the fastest one is. We put that one on the red team, but we'll see if Zeraora can do some taunts here. And the last Pokemon on the blue team representing the Lavender Town Gengars is the Fearsome Rain Sweeper. They picked him up in Week 3, Barraskewda. Now you might be thinking, Ryan, listen, you guys voted for him, alright? I know it was between him and Luco, so it had to be a rain thing, but Ryan, who's setting up the rain? Well, on the blue team, Mewtwo's got a little bit of rain dance, so you got a fast, you know, relatively bulky Pokemon that can set up the rain. Mewtwo is holding the damp rock, so that'll be 7 turns of rain. So if you need Barraskewda to do something, I mean, Barraskewda is super fast anyway. It's only going to be outsped by like a couple things on the red team. But if you want those boosted flip turns, liquidations, if you want to make sure that Barraskewda's got that double speed, becomes the fastest thing here, then Mewtwo's going to have to do a little cha-cha-cha, a little bit of this. But that's the blue team. Let me know what you guys think. Do you like the blue team's composition? And let's get into the red team. Alright, Socialites. Now we're looking at the red team for the All-Star game. Trevor, head coach, the Oklahoma Thunderous, the undefeated Oklahoma Thunderous. He picked Mimikyu as his All-Star, and I think after this past week, Mimikyu is definitely going to make a run for the MVP vote. We'll talk about that a little bit more after the All-Star game here. So Mimikyu is your captain for the red team. Let me know what you think about that decision from Trevor. Could he have picked another Pokemon? Do you think Rillaboom was more deserving? Let me know in the comments below. Speaking of MVP vote, we might have the MVP here, leading the Society in KOs by quite a wide margin. Calyrex Ice Rider, representing the Denver Ninetales. The first X tier on the red team. Just crazy how strong this Pokemon is. It's so bulky, it can usually get a Trick Room up even against a super effective attack. And then it just sweeps for the next 3 or 4 turns. So yeah, you're dead if that happens. So we'll have to see how the blue team can play around that. And actually, I didn't say this, but Katie, head coach of the Denver Ninetales, is going to be the coach running the red team. So maybe she'll favor leading off with Calyrex like she likes to do in her regular games. Cole, head coach of the Driftvale City Dragapults, he's going to be representing the blue team. He won the All-Star game last season as the coach for the blue team. So we'll have to see if he can keep that up. Next, we have representing your Boston Braviaries, Giratina, RX tier. It was chosen over the more offensive Gardevoir. And I'm happy with this because Giratina plays a lot of key roles for the red team. It's very defensive. It's running a special set. Usually I like to run physical because Giratina's not the fastest thing, so I like to have Shadow Sneak in order to pick off a little bit of weakened Pokemon. And Poltergeist is the strongest ghost move it can learn. But this one is Will-O-Wisp Hex, so it's a very good check against the physical Pokemon. It also gets Sunny Day and holds a Heat Rock, which will be very important for another Pokemon on here that we'll get to. And it has Defog, so it's the key Pokemon to get rid of those rocks if Excadrill on the blue team is able to set them up. So Giratina is going to play a lot of support role. We'll have to see if that comes into play on the red team. Next up, representing the Vero Beach Volcarona in the All-Star game, we got the Muscle, Melmetal, S tier, just deals out big damage. Now, it's going to be really interesting if Calyrex Ice, who, as I said, is Katie, Denver's Pokemon, so she might favor doing that, can set up the Trick Room. Even if Calyrex dies, that's probably going to give a couple turns to Melmetal to bop something with those double Iron Bashes. So that's going to be very interesting to see how that plays out. Let me know what you think about Melmetal here. Next up, representing the Driftvale City Dragapults is the namesake mascot Dragapult. Just going to be a real fast choice specs, bop you with a Draco, knock you with a Shadow Ball, U-turn out sort of Pokemon. So we'll have to see if Dragapult gives the red team the offense they need. And last, but certainly not least, representing the Pittsburgh Poltergeist, we got the Sun Sweeper Charizard. As I said, Giratina's going to be having that sunny day with the Heat Rock. So if they want to get the sun up for Charizard. Now, Charizard in this match is going to be holding the Choice Scarf. The speed tiers in this game are crazy. Alright, you got the couple really slow Pokemon, Calyrex and Melmetal, which they have the bulk and the opportunity to operate under a Trick Room. Then you got a couple mid-tier ones. You got Charizard and you got Excadrill. Now, Excadrill in this is going to be more of just like a lead option. But Charizard's got to sweep some things, and the only way it's going to sweep some things is if it's fast enough. So, could Blue Team get the rain up and get Barraskewda out there to bop it real easy? Yeah, maybe. Most likely that's what they'll have to do, but will they be expecting the Scarf? Who knows? Without further ado, though, let's get into the All-Star Battle! Alright, Socialites, welcome to the Global Pokemon Society Season 5 All-Star Game. You see the two teams here on the screen. The red team, captained by Mimikyu of the Oklahoma Thunderous, Calyrex, Denver Ninetales, Giratina, Boston Braviers, Melmetal, Vero Beach Volcarona, Dragapult, the Driftvale City Dragapults, and Charizard, the Pittsburgh Poltergeist. Going up against the blue team, captained by Weavile of Paris Saint-Germain, Kiram White, Charm City Charizards, Mewtwo, the Worcester Delibirds, Excadrill, the Tokyo Togekiss, Zeraora of the Black City Zekrom, and Barraskewda of the Lavender Town Gengars. We'll have to see what the two teams decide on. What are they going to do? What is their strategies? Neither team knew what Pokemon were going to be on the other's team. None of them knew what items they were going to get or their opponent was going to have. So this is really, they saw the teams like a couple hours before the match. I don't even think Katie, head coach of the red team, even looked at the team really. So we'll have to see. I'm sure Cole kind of looked at the team, so we'll have to see what that gives them for a strategy here. Alright, going into the All-Star Game. The blue team sends out Weavile, the captain, making an early start, and Calyrex comes out from the red team. So as I kind of talked about, Katie might favor her own All-Star here. Calyrex has to watch out for the Weavile's knockoff. It could have another dark move as well that could be stronger. Let's see what the blue team, Cole, head coach of Driftvale City Dragapults, being the coach for the blue All-Stars. Calyrex is trying to set up that Trick Room here. Weavile goes for the knockoff. Does big damage, but Calyrex just barely survives. And that's going to let it get the Trick Room off now. Calyrex does have to worry because Weavile does like to have some priority moves. Calyrex just barely surviving that knockoff. What does Weavile want to do here? Really thinking it over. The blue team trying to strategize. Weavile shrugging it off. Weavile does go for the Ice Shard. Will it be enough to take down Calyrex? No! Not even a 2-hit KO from where Calyrex stands. And this close combat is going to knock out Weavile. So the captain for the blue team goes down, and now Calyrex is going to really be able to boost up under this Trick Room. I'm not sure if the blue team has any other priority moves that they could use. We'll have to see. Excadrill comes out this time. With the Trick Room up, though, it's going to be very difficult. Calyrex with another close combat is going to take Excadrill down to its Focus Sash is revealed. That should give Excadrill the opening it needs to, yes, go for the Iron Head, take down Calyrex. And we find ourselves back to even, but the Trick Room is still up for a couple turns. Which could be exactly what they need to get Melmetal in. I think that this Trick Room getting up is really going to hinder the blue team here. If they had gone with either Excadrill or Zeraora as a lead, they might be standing a better chance. Zeraora again with the taunt would have stopped that Trick Room, and Excadrill would have been able to get off 2 attacks thanks to its Focus Sash. But now the Trick Room is up. It's going to be very difficult to take down this Melmetal under Trick Room. It is the slowest thing here. Also holding the Assault Vest. Melmetal does go for the Earthquake, which does the 1 damage necessary to take out Excadrill. Should be a couple more turns of the Trick Room up. Blue team sends out Mewtwo. I think Denver looked at Double Iron Bash, saw 60, and didn't realize that it hits twice, being a 120 base power move that if it hits first has a nearly 50% chance to flinch the opponent. Mewtwo here showing off its great bulk should be able to stall out. The Trick Room here probably only has 1 more turn. You want to switch Melmetal out on the last turn Trick Room. I'm not sure about that. Get that Double Iron Bash off. You know what I'm saying? But they do switch out into Dragapult here. Maybe expecting Mewtwo to go for another recover. No, he goes for the Shadow Ball, and that is not going to be good for Dragapult at all. Dragapult goes down. A horrible switch-in for the red team. Just horrible. The worst thing they could have done. And this might have brought it all back to the blue team because now Trick Room is going to be over. Melmetal is going to be so slow. The blue team has the momentum back. They do send out Mimikyu, however. I'm not even sure that a Swords Dance Shadow Sneak will be enough, though, to take down Mewtwo. They're going for a Drain Punch. Was that right? Did I see that right? The disguise is busted. And Mimikyu goes for Drain Punch. This is... Red team's just throwing it away here. Red team has just tossed it aside. They had all the momentum early. They had the Trick Room. They had the Melmetal. They were killing it, and now everything is just going downhill. This Shadow Sneak will not be enough to take down Mewtwo. Not at all. And I don't think the +2 would have been enough. Now, Mimikyu does have pretty good special defense, but it's not enough against the powerful Mewtwo. Wow, just the red team throwing it all away. Just pitiful play. Just horrible. Just, I can't even watch this. I might have to leave here as the blue team now has so much momentum. The red team captain Mimikyu just doing nothing with that Drain Punch into Shadow Sneak. We do, however, see that there is the Choice Scarf Charizard. Now, Mewtwo might not be expecting the Choice Scarf here as Charizard goes for the Flamethrower. Will this be enough to take down Mewtwo? It does take down Mewtwo. Mewtwo was probably not expecting the speed on Charizard. It's going to be difficult now for blue team to outspeed without the Rain Dance from Mewtwo. In fact, it's going to be basically impossible. But locked into Flamethrower. I mean, Barraskewda should be able to survive a Flamethrower. I think all these Pokemon can survive a Flamethrower. It's just, you know, Kyurem's probably your best switch in here. Blue team thinking it out. They go into Zeraora here. Thinking Zeraora is their fastest Pokemon. Charizard's going to switch out here, though, into Melmetal. What could Zeraora be going for? Maybe a Volt Switch? Or a Thunderbolt? Melmetal comes in, is going to take this Thunderbolt. Takes it pretty nicely. And we see there's really no Earthquake resist. The Focus Blast misses, and this Earthquake should be enough to take down Zeraora. An unfortunate Focus Blast miss. That's going to bring out Kyurem White. The red team with the slightest of leads here. Despite throwing it all away. Red team debating what to do here with Melmetal. They finally do decide on the double Iron Bash. Oh, interesting. Kira might have been expecting a switch out here from Melmetal, as Melmetal takes the Draco very easily. And the double Iron Bash here, huge damage, hits once, hits 2 times, and down goes Kiram. And that's gonna leave Barraskewda against the red team. Barraskewda goes with Throat Chop. It's not going to do enough against Melmetal. And the Thunder Punch takes down Barraskewda. So, despite a horrible use of Melmetal and Mimikyu early in the match, the red team is able to claw back thanks mostly to a Focus Blast miss, as well as a predicted switch that did not happen for the blue team. So with that, the red team is the All-Star champions. Wow, guys. Thank you all so much for watching that All-Star game and for tuning into the podcast. As always, you guys rock. Make sure you give the video a like, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment what you thought about the All-Star game, and we're going to talk about how you can vote for the MVPs right now. Alright, Socialites, here we are to talk about your 4 finalists for the Global Pokemon Society Season 5 MVP vote. Comment down below who you think should win, but go to the link down below where you can actually vote for the MVP. Starting off, we have Mimikyu of the Oklahoma Thunderous. Some stuff about Mimikyu here. It is a B rank. Maybe it should have been A. Sometimes you underestimate, like for newer players, you underestimate the power of Mimikyu. 7 games played, 11 KOs, and 3 feints. So those are Mimikyu's stats, as well as it being on the undefeated 8-0 team. Your next all MVP candidate, here I am thinking about the All-Star game, is Weavile of Paris Saint-Germain. Weavile, the A tier on PSG. 8 games played, was in every game, 10 KOs, 3 feints. But don't forget that it had those 2 clutch games where it died only due to its Life Orb recoil, and it got those clutch wins for PSG, sweeping at the end. So make sure you cast your vote for Weavile and comment down below. Give Weavile some love. Our next MVP candidate, don't call me biased, because this Pokemon's numbers are off the chart here. It's Calyrex Ice Rider, the X tier for Denver. Denver showed what an X tier can do in the right situation. 7 games played, 15 KOs, and 4 feints. The power of Calyrex leading the society in KOs. Who knows how many KOs? It took several weeks for Denver to figure out how to use Calyrex, and when she did, it just went off. So make sure you vote for Calyrex. Comment down below what you think about this X tier. And your final MVP candidate, coming from overseas in Tokyo, it's the S tier Excadrill. 7 games played, 12 KOs, and 5 feints. Give some love to Tokyo. Leave a comment if you're repping Excadrill, and make sure to click the link in the description to vote for who you want as the MVP. Again, the 4 finalists: Mimikyu, Weavile, Calyrex Ice Rider, and Excadrill. And as always, thanks for watching, Socialites. Stay classy, society.